Deciding on the right holiday can be difficult, can't it? But if you're looking for somewhere where, you can relax on the beach, enjoy good food, experience local traditions, somewhere that has sun, sea, sand, and all the excitement of a continental resort, then you can forget all these. I think I've got the perfect answer. Jersey may be only 9 miles by 5, but it offers so much to the holidaymaker. Secluded bays, wide sandy beaches, warm waters, all with a delightfully different atmosphere. If you've already been, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, then join me as we sample a taste, just a taste, of this rather special island of Jersey.
Hello, and a warm welcome to our video presentation, This is Jersey. During the next 50 minutes, we'll introduce you to many of the fascinating aspects of life on this British South Sea island. Try to answer some of your questions on the history of the island, from Neolithic man to the 5 years of German occupation. We'll look at island industry, including one of our famous exports for the past 200 years, the Jersey cow. Today, one of our main sources of income is tourism, and we'll show you the numerous attractions you can discover, whether you travel by coach, bus, hire a car, or prefer a leisurely walk through our beautiful countryside. The island is surrounded by interesting bays, each with their own individuality, and you'll be pleasantly surprised how far your money will go in the superb shopping centre. But keep an eye open for our money. The colour of the notes could be confusing. There are also many top-quality restaurants and nightclubs, plus numerous other places of special interest to the tourist. So sit back and join us in a colourful conducted tour of the island of Jersey. Just 9 miles by 5, Jersey is the largest of the Channel Islands and slopes from north to south, thereby receiving maximum benefit from the sun. Jersey's shores are washed by the waters of the Gulf Stream, allowing for milder winters and warmer summers than those experienced in England. The island is made up of 12 parishes, with the town of St Helier in the south as its capital. Whilst touring around Jersey, you'll notice many of our place names are in French. The closest point to France is Gorey, in the east, which is only 14 miles from the French mainland. Day trips can be arranged to the nearby French ports of Saint-Malo and Carteret. Before the Ice Age, Jersey and France were joined. As the ice melted, the English Channel, which used to be an extension of the River Seine, came into being, and so the Channel Islands were formed. The remains of the Great Forest in St. Juan's Bay, which is only uncovered at low tide, is a reminder of this former link. Man is known to have inhabited Jersey for 100,000 years. He lived in caves such as Le Cotte in the parish of St. Brelard, where many of his artifacts were found. The most impressive remains were left by Neolithic man between 4000 and 3000 BC, and dolmens and menhirs have been found all over the island. (1066), an important date in Channel Island history. At that time, the islands were part of Normandy. So, when William conquered England, they swore allegiance to the English crown. When King John lost Normandy in 1204, the islanders were then faced with a choice between the French and English monarchy. Choosing to remain faithful to England, the nearby coast of France became enemy territory. For the next 500 years, the French made numerous attempts to recapture this English outpost. Fortifications called Martello Towers were built around the coastline. These towers were constructed at a set distance apart, enabling the area between to be covered by cannon shot in the event of an attack. The last attempt by the French was on the 6th of January 1781, when a large force landed in the southeast at La Roque, under the direction of Baron Roulecourt. His troops captured the town and forced the Lieutenant Governor, Major Corbett, to sign articles of surrender. Major Francis Pearson then led the English forces into the town and defeated the French. During the conflict, Pearson was killed. A memorial to Major Pearson and the Battle of Jersey can be found at the entrance to St. Helier's Royal Square, with a plaque on the wall of the Pearson Inn commemorating the spot where he fell. The French never tried again. And soon after, peace between England and France made the island safe from invasion, until the German occupation in 1940. As previously mentioned, Neolithic man left many dolmens in Jersey, the most famous of these being La Hougue Bee. This huge 40-foot-high mound contains one of the better preserved burial sites in Europe. Modern-day builders can only marvel at the tremendous task faced by Neolithic man. Great slabs of stone had to be transported by pure strength up the hill to the site. The largest of the capstones, which forms the roof, weighs over 25 tons, and the passage leading to the great chamber is 33 feet long. From remains found in this chamber, it's possible to place the height of the occupants at only 4 feet tall. Other items discovered include pottery, beads, stone weapons, implements, and oyster shells. On top of the mound, 2 chapels have been built. Although they share the same roof, the chapels are from different centuries. Notre-Dame de la Clatte dates from the 12th century, whilst the Jerusalem chapel was built about 1520 by Dean Mabon, after returning from the Holy Land. La Hougue Bee is open to the public during the summer months, and visitors can spend a few enjoyable hours inspecting the legacy of a bygone age in the dolmen. The other exhibitions include a geology room and archaeological displays. In the grounds, an agricultural museum displays farming utensils from the 19th century. A carriage complete with old photographs and uniforms traces the history of Jersey's railway past. Underground, a German command bunker which housed one of the main communications posts in the island during the occupation. Situated together in one small area, this is a wonderful exhibition to capture the interests of all ages. A different beach for every day of your holiday. This is Jersey's proud boast. From wide open expanses of golden sand to small secluded bays, where it's still possible to find peace and quiet. Working our way westward from St. Helier, we find St. Aubin's Bay. This is a safe, sandy beach for children, and excellent for sunbathing and relaxing. Golden sands, clear blue seas, and good amenities. That's what makes St. Brelard one of the most popular bays in Jersey. Ideal for surfers, St. Juan's Bay stretches the full length of the west coast. Atlantic rollers pound the shoreline on this unspoilt and romantic part of the island. The north coast is full of small secluded bays. Clermont, Grève de Lec, Bonnuy, which was a favorite spot for smugglers, plus Bully Bay, and the quaint picturesque hamlet of Roselle. The fishing fleet used Roselle in the early days when oyster catching was at its height. Nowadays it's a sleepy picture postcard bay, retaining all the charm and character of a bygone age. A place where time has stood still. Most of Jersey's beaches are safe for swimming, but the tide does come in fast, especially on the east and south coast, where some of the greatest tidal movements anywhere in the world have been recorded. The small bay of Ann Port leads us to Goree, another excellent beach for children with small sand dunes and plenty of refreshment kiosks. The old harbour with the majestic castle above makes a wonderful backcloth to this bay. Mont Orgueil Castle dates back to the early 13th century, although recent excavations have revealed the remains of Iron Age defences within the grounds. The castle was built as protection against the French and has withstood many attacks in its time. Until 1600, the castle was the centre of administration and government for the island, being the permanent home of the governor and crown officers. Visitors are helped to understand life in the castle by various tableaux, which recreate scenes from the past. One shows Philip d'Auvergne, Duke of Bouillon, receiving a message from one of his spies on his return from France, where the Duke had organized a secret underground intelligence network. This group supplied London with information of the progress of the war between the two countries. A small museum shows numerous weapons and artifacts which were found in the castle, and tours are available, complete with cassette recordings to explain each tableau. A climb to the summit is well worth the effort, providing spectacular views of the island's east coast. In 1600, there were plans to demolish the castle, but the new governor, Sir Walter Raleigh, wrote to Queen Elizabeth in praise of the stately fort, saying it would be a pity to cast it down. Even so, Sir Walter moved the governor's house to the new castle being built by military engineer Paul Ivy in St. Albans Bay, which he named Fort Isabella Bellissima, in honor of Queen Elizabeth I. Elizabeth Castle was built as a defense for the town of St. Helier against attacks by the French. Both English forces and the local Jersey militia have been stationed within the walls, and there's an extensive exhibition of militia uniforms, weapons, and medals on display. You'll also find silverware used by the militia as trophies for various shooting competitions. Many of the original cannon can be found in the granite and gunpowder display, including a replica of a mortar used during the second siege of the castle from October to December 1651. The display of artillery is brought up to more modern times with the inclusion of a German anti-tank gun from 1940. A recent innovation is the firing of the noonday gun. This custom has been revived during the summer months to remind us of times long past, before watches were invented. At low tide, this castle can be reached by foot along a narrow causeway. When cut off by the water, frequent trips by landing craft allow the visitors access. Some 300 yards along the breakwater lies the Hermitage Rock. It was here that St. Helier lived for 15 years from 540 AD until he was killed by sea raiders. Both castles have been restored to a high standard and are among the finest in Europe open to the public. They're floodlit during the summer evenings, and many postcards are sent worldwide showing Mont Orgueil and Elizabeth Castle by night. Jersey has its own totally independent parliament, known as the States, made up of 12 senators and 29 deputies, plus 12 constables, one from each parish. With no party politics, every person who stands for election has to pay his or her own expenses and tries through open meetings to persuade the public to vote them into the States. Once elected, the successful candidate receives no payment, as it is a true labour of love. The bailiff, who is appointed by the Crown, presides over the royal court and acts as Speaker of the States.
Good evening, welcome to the meeting. Now, before going on to the official business of the meeting...
Each parish has its own form of government, comparable with councils. The island also has two police forces, uniformed and honorary. The honorary officers are elected by the residents of each parish, and their powers are limited to their parish boundaries. Before tourists flocked to Jersey, the main industry was agriculture. Even today, over 50% of the island is used for agricultural and horticultural purposes, especially small southerly sloping fields known as coaties, which are highly prized by the farmers. The main export is still potatoes. Which British housewife has never heard of the famous Jersey Royal? Early potatoes always command the highest prices, and in an endeavour to be the first in the market, the local farmers have come up with some interesting new ideas. Anyone arriving by air from February to April could be forgiven for thinking half the island was under water, with field upon field covered with polythene sheeting. These sheets give a greenhouse effect to the soil. Therefore, the soil temperature is higher, and plants grow faster, and the crops arrive earlier. A secondary benefit is, of course, protection from frost. The Jersey cow is famous the world over for its exceptionally high milk and butter yield. No cattle have been imported into the island since 1789. With careful breeding, the Jersey herds have produced one of the most beautiful-looking cows to be found anywhere. Some farms have now opened up to the public, and these are well worth a visit. Jersey farmers are a breed apart, and if you enter into a conversation with one, he'll keep you amused for hours with stories from the past. In the afternoon of the 1st of July, 1914, Lieutenant Richard Kern of the Luftwaffe, purely on his own initiative, landed at Jersey Airport. From his reconnaissance plane, he'd seen the white flags of surrender being flown all over the island and decided to investigate. The occupation of the Channel Islands had begun. For the next 5 years, Jersey was to experience many hardships under the rule of the jackboot. German became a compulsory subject in the schools, and the Reichsmark took the place of sterling. The regulation which caused most problems was an overnight switch to driving on the right-hand side of the road. Many accidents occurred during the first few weeks. Over 1,200 people were deported to camps in Europe. All but 45 returned safely. Many locals also tried to escape by sea, and 56 are known to have been successful. Hitler decided to turn Jersey into an island fortress with a garrison of 11,500 troops. Thousands of tons of concrete were used to build the bunkers which appeared on every section of the coastline. Many of these remain today as a silent reminder of the occupation. As well as the many bunkers, the Germans left behind numerous other fortifications and relics of those terrible years of occupation. The most evocative reminder is the vast complex of the German underground hospital at Meadowbank, St. Lawrence. Started in the darkest days of 1941 and abandoned only weeks before D-Day, the underground hospital is an amazing construction, hewn from solid rock by thousands of forced laborers working in the harshest conditions. Designed to be completely safe from attack, whether by land or from the air, the whole complex, which caused the removal of 50,000 tons of rock, was gas-proof, centrally heated, and fully air-conditioned. Today, this construction, which incorporates wards for 500 patients, a fully functioning operating theatre, and doctors' and nurses' quarters, has been recreated with chilling realism, and is one of the most comprehensive museums of the occupation in the Channel Islands. In the tunnel complex, visitors can experience for themselves the hardships endured by the forced laborers as they clawed their way deep into the hillside.
Rock forward.
Europe has been scarred for the artifacts that once made this an outstanding example of its kind. And today, the underground hospital is a monument to the despair of the dark days of conflict and the joy of liberation. On the 8th of May, 1945, hundreds gathered in the Royal Square, where loudspeakers had been erected to relay Winston Churchill's speech in the House of Commons.
Ceasefire began yesterday to be sounded all along the front, and our dear Channel Islands are also to be freed today.
The Jersey Museum in Pier Road, which is run by the Heritage Trust, is a must for all visitors interested in history. The building was opened in 1895, and some of the permanent displays include the Lily Langtry Room, where her jewelry, clothing, and many portraits and photographs can be seen. The golden gun given to Lily by Judge Roy Bean, sheriff of the town of Langtry in Texas, is also part of the historical display of Jersey's most famous, or should we say infamous, lady. A maritime room displays trophies won by T.B. Davis with his many racing yachts. Alongside, an exhibition shows the strong island connections with the sea, whilst another area has been turned into an old chemist shop complete with the fearful instruments of the day. The most valuable item in the museum is the solid gold torque, which was discovered by workmen in 1889 whilst digging foundations for a house in St. Helier. This twisted gold bar is 140 centimeters long and weighs 746 grams. Torques were usually worn as an adornment by great chiefs and fitted on the arm or around the shoulders. One of the most enjoyable ways of spending a beautiful summer's day is discovering the many coastal walks. Although there are walks on all four coasts, the most popular are the cliff paths on the north of the island. Through a local job creation scheme and with the cooperation of landowners and the National Trust, rough paths have been cut out of the heather and gorse. The scenery is magnificent, with clear views of the other Channel Islands and the coast of France. The cliffs at most points on the north drop several hundred feet into the sea. The constant cry of gulls and waves breaking over the rocks below are usually the only sounds which the walker hears. Still for a few minutes, you may be fortunate enough to see a few of the multitude of rabbits which inhabit the area. Small birds and other forms of wildlife add to the beauty of these walks, whilst wildflowers create a mass of color at certain times of the year. It's impossible to miss the Jersey lavender farm. Just follow your nose. The farm covers 6.5 acres and is one of only 2 such farms in Britain. There's much to see here, and the scent of the lavender is an experience all by itself. see the distillery room, where the lavender has its precious oil removed. Then follow the various stages of blending until the famous Jersey lavender eau de toilette is bottled and packed, ready for the shops. Every September, the people of Britain remember the men and women of the RAF who lost their lives during the Second World War. Jersey arranges special attractions during Battle of Britain Week, climaxing with an air display over St. Albans Bay. Thousands line the promenade to watch and remember. They're treated to a marvelous display of low-level flying by many of the original planes from the Second World War, including the memorial flight by the Lancaster bomber, flanked by a Hurricane and Spitfire. Hundreds of children, too young to remember the war years, have come for only one reason: the Red Arrows. The symbol of Jersey Zoo is the dodo. Without zoos like ours, a great many more species of wildlife would be lost. The Jersey Wildlife Preservation Trust was formed to help famous naturalist and conservationist Gerald Durrell finance his small private zoo, which he opened in 1959. Tremendous success has been achieved in the breeding of rare and endangered species in captivity. The zoo has a record second to none, and it has now embarked upon a program of releasing animals back into their natural environment. Set in the beautiful grounds of Les Augres Manor, the animals are given as much space as possible, and the compounds have been designed to resemble their natural habitats. In 1986, the zoo became world famous when the male silverback gorilla Yambo stood guard over 5-year-old Levin Merritt after the child had fallen into the enclosure. An amateur cameraman was fortunately on the spot. These incredible pictures of Yambo stroking the unconscious boy were shown worldwide. Yambo was also one of the zoo's success stories as far as breeding is concerned. This 28-year-old gorilla has to date fathered 16 children, and the babies are a major attraction as they play in their extensive compound. Any individual or group can adopt an animal of their choice for a small annual charge. Many local schools have joined this scheme, and it's common to see eager-faced youngsters clamoring to obtain a better view of their very own animal. A marvelous idea to get the young interested in conservation. Another of Gerald Durrell's ambitions was realized when an international training center was started in 1978. Students from every corner of the globe travel to Jersey. Here they're taught every aspect of the care and maintenance of their own country's endangered wildlife. The picturesque village of Goree is home to the Jersey pottery. The art of the potter can really be appreciated to the full in this purpose-designed building where the visitor is granted free access to every stage of production. From the potter's wheel, where a lump of clay is molded by skilled hands into a delicate work of art, to the painting room, where artists still hand-decorate each item, which in effect makes every piece an original. Great pride is taken in the quality of each article produced, and the vast showroom is a testament to the skill and dedication of the potters of Goree. Whether you require a table lamp, coffee mugs, inscribed with the names of your family, or a full dinner service, it's on sale. And remember, everything is handmade, and therefore individual. Outside are the superb landscape gardens, with pools, patios, and a profusion of flowers and shrubs. The award-winning restaurant specializes in all manner of local seafood. Who wouldn't be tempted at the sight of a freshly caught Jersey lobster, presented with your enjoyment in mind? When in Jersey, put the pottery at the top of your itinerary. It's an exceptional establishment not to be missed. Any visitor to our island must return home with at least one truly local gift. And Jersey is rich in craft centers, with perhaps the best known being Les Tac Woodcrafts in St. Juan. Craftsmen work with blocks of wood until masterpieces are lovingly created. Many unusual souvenirs can be found, including the Birthwood tree calendar. It appears we're not only given a zodiac sign, but are also born under a certain type of tree. One area not to miss is the magical world of the Lost Forest.
Welcome. As you enter the Les Tac experience, look for the 7 woodland common rocks, and don't forget to wish on the magic ball.
Here, children can explore and learn the secrets of the touchwood tree.
I am the spirit of the magic ball. Touch me gently and make a wish.
A gift unique to the island is the cabbage walking stick. These were first made in the island as far back as 1870 and come from specially cultivated cabbages called long jacks. They grow up to an amazing 15 feet, and none of the stalk is wasted, as the small pieces left over after the walking stick has been produced are turned into shoehorns, corkscrews, key rings, and many other ingenious gifts. A pottery has recently been added to the complex, where many unusual items can be made to order. Whilst in St. Juan, a visit to Jersey Goldsmiths, known as the Gold Center, is essential. Their showroom displays the largest range of gold jewelry and gifts in the Channel Islands. Here, craftsmen demonstrate the fascinating skills of the goldsmith, working on a variety of items that result in a gift unique to the island. Popular with the visitor is the nearby restaurant, where light snacks or a full meal can be enjoyed throughout the year. The parish of St. John also boasts a centre of attraction for the visitor looking for that different gift. Jersey Pearl has a range of pearl jewellery unsurpassed in Europe. Thousands of people each year delight in browsing through their spacious showroom, gaining a free insight into the fascinating world of pearls. Here one can see pearl items being assembled, and if you wish, have an item made especially for you. During the visit, take advantage of a relaxing meal in their in-house restaurant, where facilities to keep the children entertained are available. Leisure and pleasure are important parts of any holiday, and the island caters for the interests of its holidaymakers in a big way. Dominating St. Heliers skyline is one of Europe's most comprehensive entertainment, sport and conference centres. Built around a Napoleonic fortress, Fort Regent offers major attractions throughout the year. The rampart walks can be reached by convenient cable cars. From here, excellent views over the town and south coast can be seen. Setting the scene for some of the best entertainment in the island, the Piazza area hosts regular live stage shows. Children are not forgotten with a host of exciting and entertaining attractions. For those with sport in mind, the fort offers a wide range of facilities, many available all year round. With restaurants, bars and an evening discotheque, Fort Regent can offer you a whole world of exciting entertainment. Although nearly every sport is played in Jersey, there's obviously a great emphasis placed on water-related activities. St. Aubin is the centre for water skiing, with equipment and speedboats for hire. Tuition is on hand if any visitor wants to try something totally new and exciting. The bay is ideal for this sport, wide and void of dangerous rocks. The experts make it all look so easy, weaving from side to side, riding the bar waves left behind the speedboat. Surf jets are also available for hire. These are great fun and need no special skill or training. Underwater swimmers are catered for at Bully Bay. Qualified instructors will take you beneath the waves to a magic world of small fish darting in all directions, with mysterious patches of seaweed waving in the currents. Aqualung diving is a wonderful pastime, as long as you obey all the golden rules. If you enjoy relaxing on a boat whilst waiting for the fish to bite, then there are plenty of organized trips, complete with rods, bait, and a packed lunch. Some of the larger boats even have a bar. St. Catherine's Breakwater was originally built as the first section of a harbour. It was never finished, and today is a paradise for the angler. Annual fishing competitions are held here, and many large catches are recorded. St. Catherine's is also the home of one of Jersey's main sailing clubs, an extremely popular sport in the island. With a tremendous view over St. Juan's Bay, we find the island's main golf club, La Moy. The Jersey Open tournament is now part of the circuit for many of the top golfers. And if you're a member of one of the leading clubs in Britain, there's a chance of a game on this superb course. The new clubhouse is of a standard which puts La Moy in the top bracket in Europe. Definitely not a course for the beginner. They're catered for on the smaller ranges. In 1938, one of Jersey's main benefactors, T.B. Davis, gave the States a large area of land just outside St. Helier in memory of his son Howard, who'd been killed in the First World War. Howard Davis Park is now the island's foremost park and welcomes thousands of visitors every year who are in search of peace and tranquility. These beautifully maintained gardens have been superbly landscaped, with a small lily pond, numerous walks, and a colourful and fragrant rose garden. The park is a mass of colour at any time of the year, with an army of gardeners constantly changing the intricate arrangements. A working clock has now been installed in one bed, with the entire face covered with plants and flowers. Flowers make a perfect gift, and a box of local carnations posted direct to the mainland will certainly please all your friends and relations. Located in St. Juan, you'll find Sunset Nurseries, specializing in producing some of the island's finest blooms. Many coach tours include a stop at this nursery to give you the opportunity to inspect at first hand what has become one of our main exports. Over 1 million flowers are grown each year at this nursery alone. You'll soon discover there's more to see than just carnations. An indoor tropical garden has been set up in one greenhouse, complete with trout pools and aviaries. Whilst on the subject of flowers, every August, Jersey shows off its great array of blooms by staging the Battle of Flowers. In true carnival atmosphere, and to the accompaniment of numerous visiting bands, the floats parade around the arena. The largest, usually entered by the different parishes, are between 40 and 45 feet long, with over 100,000 blooms on each float. They each depict a different theme and are judged depending on size and type of flowers used. Most are decorated in cultivated blooms, whilst others use wildflowers, with a special class for floats covered in paper flowers. Miss Battle of Flowers, chosen from many beautiful girls on Jersey, leads the parade, with a celebrity from the world of show business acting as her Mr. Battle for the day. The word battle originated at the time when floats were torn apart at the end of the parade and the flowers hurled in all directions. These days, the floats are kept as long as possible for all to enjoy. Most remain in the floodlit arena during the evening to allow the crowds to make a closer inspection of the floral masterpieces. Then it's on to the fair, where the carnival atmosphere continues. If you haven't worn yourself out sunbathing or visiting one of our many attractions, your hotel staff will be delighted to tell you about Jersey's glittering night spots, featuring international cabaret stars and favourite artistes who return to the island year after year. Whether your taste is for the music of the minstrels, lavish Parisian extravaganzas, or first-rate theatre productions, you'll find what you want in Jersey's nighttime scene. For the young at heart, there are discotheques where you can enjoy the latest sounds into the early hours of the morning. Jersey boasts some of the best restaurants in Europe, with food and service to match. Your choice is not limited to English cuisine. We can also boast French, Italian, Chinese and Greek. Shellfish is a speciality, and everyone should try at least one night out at a seafood restaurant where you're guaranteed the best money can buy. And you'll find it won't break the bank. During a vacation, most people end up in at least one of our pubs. These range from the ordinary English pub to the unusual venue which has been converted into a drinking house. The Windmill in St. Peter used to be an old flour mill, whilst Le Moulin de Lec will delight the eye. Its main lounge invites the visitor to relax in a traditional Jersey setting.
What do you reckon? You reckon you're on a winner list?
Above the bar, part of the original watermill can still be seen. Jersey has 2 breweries, and many beer drinkers find they acquire a taste for the strong local pint. As we've already seen, Jersey restaurants have a standard which would rate highly anywhere in Europe, if not the world. Unique to the island is the annual Good Food Festival. Any restaurant or establishment serving food to the public may voluntarily enter, and a team of international gourmets pay a surprise visit and sample the fare on offer. For a week in May, the judges circulate, choosing dishes from a la carte and set menus. Many restaurants have special dishes or even whole gourmet menus which they feature for the week, and thousands of locals and tourists flock to their favorite restaurant to sample the many mouth-watering recipes.
These are nice. This is a nice mosaic on here, all laid on.
The judge's opinion of the catering standard is measured by presenting winning establishments with an award in recognition of their culinary achievements. The arts are most certainly alive and well in Jersey. Drop into the Arts Centre in St. Helier, and you may be fortunate enough to find one of their many and varied concerts being staged during your stay. Opened in 1983, the centre includes the Benjamin Meeker Theatre, which regularly features local and overseas artists in mime, dance, plays and musicals. The centre prides itself on the varied programmes on offer. Enjoy an excellent lunch in the bar, then visit the Burney Art Gallery upstairs, where local artists and photographers are given the opportunity to exhibit their work. If one of the excellent array of pictures takes your fancy, it's usually for sale. Shopping in Jersey is paradise for the visitor with an eye for a bargain. The shops are free from VAT, and the duty on many goods is less than in the UK. Most people spend a few days of their holiday browsing around the stores, many of which stay open until 9 or 10 at night during the summer months. And remember, friendly service and advice is always on hand to help you find that exclusive present. Careful selection amongst the long line of jewellery and perfume shops need not place too much strain on the plastic card or checkbook, as a great deal of money can be saved on mainland prices. Many stores display both the Jersey and UK price as a guideline. The low tax on alcohol and cigarettes makes prices very attractive. Just be certain to ask what the legal duty-free allowance is to save embarrassment at customs. One of the beauties of shopping in the heart of St. Helier is the paved precinct. This means traffic-free movement between shops, which is a great help when young children are present. Shopping can be hard on the feet, and some cafes have spread tables and chairs across part of the precinct close to their premises to enable the weary shopper to have anything from coffee to moule or crepe in true French fashion. Like many towns in Britain, St. Helier used to have a weekly market, which was held in the Royal Square, and where the country folk could bring their fresh produce to sell. Now we have a grand Victorian building which houses the colourful stalls, displaying all manner of fruit and vegetables. Early birds can witness the farmers delivering their Jersey fresh crops, and the quality and quantity is always of the highest standard. Smell the freshly baked bread and listen to the strange tongue of the Jersey French patois as the older generation of stallholders discuss the prices. Glance upwards at the glass dome which has withstood 100 years of weather. Make a wish and throw a coin into the fountain. It all goes to charity. We are proud of our Jersey fresh produce, and at various times of the year special stalls are erected and samples of Jersey fresh recipes are distributed to the passers-by. Across the road in Beresford Street, we find the fish market. Once again, Jersey fresh is the slogan. Lobsters, crabs, oysters and mussels abound. Being so near to France, the island has always had strong connections with its closest neighbour. Many Jersey parishes are twinned with French towns, so it should come as no surprise to find a 12-day annual festival featuring all that is best in France. Whole streets are blocked off from traffic, and stalls appear on the pavements selling crepe, wine, French bread and delicious pastries. And to finish, why not try a glass of Calvados, the special French apple brandy? Buskers parade amongst the tables which spread across the street, and accordionists serenade you while you treat yourself to a little Jersey French atmosphere. Yes, this is Jersey. And I hope you'll have found this brief glimpse an entertaining and interesting guide to the treasures and pleasures of our lovely island. Thanks to William the Conqueror, Jersey is different, and long may it stay that way.
Just how and why would you raise the Clumber de Harrow? What exactly is an Ormer? And how do you make black butter? The answers, and many more fascinating facts about Jersey, can be found in John Manning's best-selling booklet, The Parish Pump. This insight into Jersey's history and legends is priced just £1.95, including postage. Send a cheque or postal order to CTV Publications, the TV Centre, St Helier, Jersey.